In the late 80s, early 90s, it seemed like everyone and their brother was getting a movie. Sometimes it worked out, other times it was just a silly ego fluffing for the star. Today we're going to take a look at a classic detective story mixed with a redemption tale to stroke the ego of one Andrew Dice Clay by the name of The Adventures of Ford Fairlane. I'm Ollamh, and welcome to Geek Corner Reviews. We start off the movie with, what else, narration.
They call me Ford Fairlane, rock and roll detective.
Fairlane is sitting on the beach and apparently has hit rock bottom. What could possibly have brought him so low? Well, for that we have to go on an almost 1 hour and 45-minute flashback. So there's a rock and roll star that apparently OD'd during the band's latest concert. Thankfully, Ford isn't there, so has a good solid alibi. In fact, Ford is on another case investigating a club which has quite possibly the most 80s name ever. Greed.
You son of a bitch.
Another satisfied customer.
Oh, the misogyny of the 80s manly man. Soothing an angry lady with just a little tongue.
Wait a minute. 555's not a real number. They only use that in the movies.
No shit, honey. What do you think this is? Real life?
Wait, was this movie really trying to be meta before meta was cool? Anyway, Ford meets up with a friend in the rock and roll business played by one Morris Day. Because 80s!
Harry.
Interesting point, while Sambuca milkshakes are quite delicious, they are not flammable. The mixers dilute the alcohol to the point where it will not catch fire. So we get a clear example of just how macho Fairlane is. He can beat up and put a small little guy a full head shorter than him in custody. Trust me, this little line is going to get out quick. So the twins went home with Fairlane and we get to see how he treats women as objects and servants. Just the type of hero we want to see, right?
Just needed to be held.
You got the bonus plan.
Wait, did they really make a rape joke? Okay, so it was the 80s and it wasn't as much of a hot topic, but still, it's very poor taste. We get to meet this kid that, oh dear God, is a fanboy of Fairlane. Fairlane does seem to be interested in the kid's well-being, though. He knocks his cigarette out of the kid's mouth and tries to keep him from cursing. So he's a good role model, right? Another little nod to the time is the fact that Tone Loc makes an appearance. He tended to crop up in just about every other movie. So Fairlane delivers Sam the sleazebag to his office and his clients. And where the hell was he hiding that? Instead of getting paid in cash, he gets a gold watch, which apparently happens often. In fact, he just received a koala bear from NXS.
Down and eat.
Jazz, I'm pretty sure that is bestiality. Life was so much more difficult before eBay. Imagine how easily he could sell things these days. So Fairlane goes to see an old friend who wants him to take a case. That's right, just in case this movie wasn't irritating enough already, we get to hear Gilbert Gottfried screaming. Another actor that really dates the time period. So Godfrey needs Fairlane to find a girl, supposedly his daughter, and even Fairlane doesn't believe that Gottfried would be a caring, worried father.
Okay, you found me out.
Here's an interesting point. As Dice exits the radio station, it wasn't scripted. It was just him being that damn goofy. So Fairlane gives us a bit of an explanation about his past, and generally just rambles to waste time until we hear that Gottfried is in trouble. Well, that was a short-lived role. We should all be thankful for that. And now we introduce the cop that hates Ford Fairlane the most. Bundy. Al Bundy. We get a bunch of bickering and dick-waving, which honestly feels like middle school flirting. And tell me they don't look like they're about to kiss. We get a little clue that seems kind of out of nowhere and a, hey, get back here because we're not done with this scene yet. O'Neill hasn't explained why he hates Fairlane so much and really needs to prove that he is just an idiot. While mourning his dead friend and... Wait, what was that sound? Did Ford forget to eat today or something? Anyway, the kid comes up to Fairlane and gives him another case, finding his father.
Man, don't worry. I got a clue. See the
Oh,
thing on my finger?
your dad must be John Goodman then. Case closed. Where's my $100? The next morning, another face of the time shows up. Priscilla
Lord
Presley,
Fairlane.
who is less than impressed by Fairlane's living conditions.
When I was 11, I walked in on my father, the Shetland pony he gave me for my 10th birthday. Does that excite you?
I don't know, I never met your father.
But oh, a Shetland pony, you said? Whoo, baby.
I don't have a sense of humor either. Sorry.
Yeah, that's a requirement for this movie.
No shit.
Come to find out, she wants Ford to find the same girl as Godfrey. It seems that this one girl is key to at least 2 cases, but hey, at least he's getting the money up front this time, right? And look at that face. She just wants out of this movie. Fairlane goes to meet with his producer friend since their last meeting led him to his suspect.
My mother always said that you can't say something nice about someone. Make sure they're out of the goddamn room.
Oh, Wayne Newton, why? Wasn't a bad Bond flick enough to get you to quit acting?
I could have been a rock star. If only I wasn't banned from MTV.
Fun fact, Andrew Dice Clay actually was banned from MTV for performing his adult nursery rhymes at the 1989 Video Music Awards. Ford checks out the boat that Godfrey's character had, which looks like they just gave it to Godfrey himself for about a week and then decided to use it as a
Dumb
set.
bastard got involved with something or someone he shouldn't have.
Hello.
Freddy Krueger? He's gotten a hell of a lot more flexible in the real world. Going to a fancy party, Fairlane tries to get some more information from Colleen and gets yet another case from Newton.
I think that somebody's trying to rip my company off.
Because if you can't trust a bumbling detective who's already on a case, who can you trust? So, motherfuckers! Seriously, who did Jazz's hair? Gozer the Gargarian?
That's nice, not...
And in case you were wondering how Fairlane views women, here's proof that he sees them as just garbage disposals. So Jazz gets her hand on a CD that doesn't play music, but has computer data on it. While she goes to check it out, Fairlane decides to have a quiet night at home with his koala. Oh yeah, Kurt Loder was on MTV back when they actually played music videos. And who is that? The mystery lady everyone is looking for. Time to go to a funeral then. Is this really the best way to find someone? I mean, Fairlane is supposed to be a professional investigator, right? Well, just when it pays off, she gets kidnapped by Krueger, and we get a rampant drive through the cemetery. Seriously, would you two just kiss and get it over with? The tension is unbearable.
I call you a piece of spam because that's what you are.
Taking the mysterious and dim-witted Zuzu Petals back to his place, we get the best line of the movie.
Talking to Zuzu was like masturbating with a cheese grater. Slightly amusing, but mostly painful.
No, not the koala. He was the best actor in the movie. So the killers destroy Ford's house and car, but Fairlane decides that he's got it all together and goes to tell Newton. Come to find out, things aren't nearly as easy as Ford thinks. Newton is behind the whole thing. He kills Colleen, tortures Zuzu, and even Fairlane's guitar, and the two finally manage to get away. And why the hell would you go up to the top of the building? Oh right, we need a dramatic climb down that reveals that Kruger is the kid's father. That's gonna make things a bit more difficult.
It's alright if you fall. I'll make it.
Our hero, ladies and gentlemen, give him a hand. They find out who Art Mooney is, and Jazz puts the CDs together and reveals that Newton is ripping off his own company. So they all go to the event at the club to deal with the evil man, which ends up with him being set on fire, the lieutenant being discovered as a disco singer, and Jazz leaving Ford Fairlane. Going back to his destroyed home, Ford faces off against Kruger, realizing that he hasn't gotten one single clue the entire movie right. Kruger isn't the kid's father, which leaves him free to kill the man and take the ring. We catch back up with Ford on the beach, distraught at what all has happened. He decides when the kid comes up to him to make things right. He basically adopts the kid,
What kind of sentimental bullshit is this?
makes things good with Jazz,
What kind of sentimental bullshit is this?
wins the radio contest,
You've just won the catered $1 million giveaway!
No shit.
and goes on a cruise with his girlfriend, son, and yes, even the koala bear. Because who kills a cute fuzzy bear? So that is the adventures of Ford Fairlane. How is it as a movie? Horrible. This movie should be listed on the top 100 worst movies ever. This is an extended stand-up routine for Andrew Dice Clay. As a detective, he gets everything wrong. As a redemption movie, it's still bad. It takes him way too long for him to get his shit together. The characters are one-dimensional, the plot is drawn out and old, the actors seem to want nothing more than to get out of this film as fast as possible. It's nothing more than an almost 2-hour masturbation session for Clay's self-esteem. At best, it's a fun little movie that has a few clever lines. It's a guilty pleasure with the emphasis on guilty. So what do you think? Is it something only an Andrew Dice Clay fan would like, or can really anyone find something in the film that's amusing? Leave a comment down below, send us a tweet, or a post on our Facebook page, and let us know what you think of this movie. As always, thank you very much for watching, and stay tuned for more from Ollamh Productions.
If you wanna see some crazy,
Cheerio!
you should meet me and my friends.
Oh, you're telling me that? Wait, is that like makeup on the waitress, or is that like the waitress the character herself has actually been burned?
Another lesser-known soldier that became a form of super soldier is Nick Fury. The original Nick Fury was a commander of the Howling Commandos in